tonight, making the switch offline.
For now, there's a lot of legwork that needs to happen.
The first comments from Premier Rob Canoe are made following a provincial plan to ban children from using social media and what tech companies could face if they don't comply. Also tonight, shifting habits.
It adds up to a lot of money.
How grocery stores and their customers are trying to adapt to rising food costs. And later, seasonal allergies on the rise.
And those are all going to be in the air at the same time over the next few weeks in Winnipeg.
Why this allergy season could be particularly nasty for Canadians across the country.
CTV News, live from downtown Winnipeg.
Good evening. Thanks for joining us. I'm Joseph Bernacki. We begin tonight with an update to a story we brought you Monday. Premier Rob Canoe says tech companies that don't comply with the province's plan to ban children from using social media could face billion-dollar fines.
Facebook, Meta, they're going to spend more money on data centers this year than the entire size of all of Manitoba's economy. So, we can't fine them 10 grand, 100 grand, $1 million. Like, for a company that's going to spend tens of billions of dollars on chips this year, what is a $100 million fine? It's nothing.
It's the Premier's first comments on the issue since he announced the ban over the weekend. He also emphasized the fines would be directed at big tech platforms, not children or their parents. Details of the plan, including how a province might have jurisdiction over international platforms and when the ban would go into effect, remain unclear. But Canoe added schools and teachers may no longer be able to use AI chatbots and sites such as YouTube.
Teachers will need to get ready, school leaders will need to get ready, and of course we'll work with the tech platforms if they want to modify their products in the future, but for now there's a lot of legwork that needs to happen. The government says it may roll out the ban's first phase in schools while legislative changes are made. If you've put any gas in your vehicle lately, you've felt the higher prices, and you're not alone. Shipping companies are also paying more. Now, as CTV's John Hendricks shows you, those added costs are starting to pop up at the grocery store.
Thanks to the war in Iran, gas prices are much higher. While you may have noticed it first at the pump, now food prices are being affected as suppliers pass on higher costs.
When they add $10, you go at, it's only $10, but you go $10 times X number of suppliers, that's a lot of money per day, per month.
Zeed says in many cases he eats the extra cost to try and keep his prices low.
This with that one.
But in some cases, he says he's had little choice but to raise prices.
I mean, we're stuck with whatever they give, or we try to find an alternate supplier that's not charging as much.
To deal with rising food prices, people like Jody Johnson are doing more comparison shopping.
I know there are certain stores where I live that are always a little bit more for the same product, canned goods, for example, so I will not shop there.
Sylvain Charlebois from Dalhousie University's Agri-Food Analytics Lab says consumers are adapting to the higher prices. He says some people are changing how often they eat certain proteins.
For example, someone would not eat meat during the week, and on weekends it's fair game. So people are pacing themselves.
And there are other ways to stretch your dollar further.
When the price of something's good, you buy a lot of it, and you put it away, and then you keep that price down.
And Munther Zeed says customers are also using more coupons.
People are going back to old ways of saving money.
An old strategy for a now familiar problem. John Hendricks, CTV News, Winnipeg.
A whirlwind of conflicting messages tonight over critical staff shortages in the Northern Health region. A state of emergency was declared over critical staffing shortages at 2 northern Manitoba hospitals. But earlier this evening, Manitoba's Health Minister Uzoma Asagwara told reporters the emergency was called off. The Health Minister says the Northern Health region acted prematurely. No new solutions were offered today, but a commitment was made to explore them. In a social media post Tuesday morning, the Manitoba Nurses Union said the emergency affected Thompson General Hospital and the PAW Hospital. Several units, including the emergency department, Obstetrics, specialized care units, and even operating rooms were affected. But Health Minister Uzoma Asagwara told media the Northern Health Region acted prematurely without investigating all possible solutions for the shortage. Katrina Koop is a former nurse who worked at Thompson General Hospital. She frequently posts on social media about ongoing shortages, which she says affects everyone in the region. And for her, communication is key.
There's so many things to tackle, but listening would be super important and having that communication. And I have, like I said, I have taken the right avenues to speak to people in power, and nothing gets settled. So I just decided to use my own voice.
MNU President Darlene Jackson said the back and forth today shows very little communication between the region and the minister. She said the union's labor relations staff may meet with the health region as early as tomorrow to look at all options. CTV News reached out to the Northern Health Region for comment, but we have not yet heard back. If you're in the market for a new bike, this could be your moment. Hundreds of bicycles are set to hit the auction block. It's all part of the city's annual sale of unclaimed wheels. Around 550 bikes are up for auction this year, and nearly 200 of those got tune-ups. And you don't need a set of wheels to attend. The auction is taking place online. Bidding opens on Thursday and runs until May 7th. The City of Winnipeg says it's cleaned up close to 60 homeless encampments on public property. This comes after a new protocol was put in place in November, banning camping near playgrounds, schools, and bridges. But as CTV's Jeff Keel shows you, the real test of the new ban is coming, with summer just around the corner.
Just months ago, a homeless encampment was set up on the edge of this downtown park on the riverbank.
Basically, there was a lot of interference with the daily use of what should be a park.
Area resident Arthur Shimko says he is glad the camp is gone and the riverbank cleaned up.
Consider the demographic of the people that attend this park. It's from geriatrics to toddlers and infants.
This camping prohibited sign is posted on the fence around the park's wading pool, warning a violation constitutes trespassing that will be enforced. This is part of a new city protocol banning encampments near public spaces like playgrounds, daycares, schools, and bridges. Now, a 4-month progress report shows action was taken at 20 public properties. This includes dispatching outreach workers, offering housing to those living in the encampments, and installing the no camping signs. Plus, 58 vacant sites were remediated, and there were 199 inspections done by bylaw officers and emergency personnel, including police.
So I think the strategy is definitely working, especially working in tandem with the provincial government and the Your Way Home strategy.
But this could just be a small sample size. Community Services Committee Chair Vivian Santos says the real litmus test for the protocol is coming.
It is spring and summer. We will probably see some of the issues and encampments popping back up.
It's unclear how many people moved from these encampments. Marian Willis with St. Boniface StreetLink says she's in favor of the policy but believes managed encampment sites are needed to support the plan, or it will just push the problem elsewhere.
Will likely force people out into the suburbs. You're going to see people where you've not seen them before setting up encampments, trying to escape bylaw officers and police.
Jeff Keel, CTV News, Winnipeg.
Time to take a look at current conditions in the city of Winnipeg. 1 degree right now, fairly cool outside, mainly clear skies, winds from the west-northwest, fairly light at 10 kilometers an hour. The barometric pressure rising, the humidity sits at 71%. Tonight, your expected low -2, fairly overcast skies, partly cloudy, I should say, rather. Winds from the northwest at 10 kilometers an hour. Fairly cold temperatures for this time of year, all things considered. For your Wednesday morning drive to work, temperatures only warming up to 0 degrees with a mix of sun and cloud. Fairly windy tomorrow morning on your drive to work. Winds from the northwest expected to be 20, gusting to 40 kilometers an hour.
And those are all going to be in the air at the same time over the next few weeks in Winnipeg.
Runny nose and itchy eyes? Why this allergy season could prove challenging for Manitobans across the province. Are your eyes getting itchy? Or perhaps maybe you're dealing with a non-stop runny nose. If so, you could be one of the nearly 10 million Canadians with seasonal allergies. And as CTV's Daniel Halmerson shows you, this allergy season could be particularly nasty.
Most people visiting Assiniboine Park are looking forward to warmer temperatures and greener trees, but there's one change in the season some would like to avoid altogether.
I get just like mild hay fever from like dust and pollen, so like stuffy nose, watery eyes, that kind of thing.
Runny eyes, runny nose, then I end up with a little cough, and it's not fun. No, I don't like it.
Runny nose,
My eyes start to water. As soon as I touch my eyes, then I have to rub them forever, and it just never goes away.
Seasonal allergies triggered by tree pollen are about to flare up, and hay fever could hit Winnipeg hard and fast this year.
One big punch that's going to keep happening over and over again for about a month.
Coates' company analyzes air samples from across the country, and he says a long cold spring delayed early pollinators like maple and elm trees, and now he says those trees are pollinating at the same time as later season species like birch and oak.
And those are all going to be in the air at the same time over the next few weeks in Winnipeg, making it quite potentially a very miserable start to the allergy season for allergy sufferers.
Dr. Nestor Cisneros, a Winnipeg pediatric allergist, says taking a 24-hour antihistamine typically helps treat mild symptoms.
And that seems to work quite well for patients. However, some patients, particularly those patients who have itchiness of the eyes, sometimes that may not be enough.
He also recommends booking an appointment with an allergist to get tested, and warns these types of allergies can increase the risk of asthma, especially in younger people.
It's a very critical time to treat those patients appropriately, knowing what their allergies are.
Daniel Halmerson, CTV News, Winnipeg.
2 men are recovering and a third is dead after an incident in the North End early yesterday morning. Officers were sent to the 200 block of Stella Walk Avenue around 3:20 a.m. for a report multiple people had been assaulted. A 23-year-old and 27-year-old were found outside and taken to hospital in unstable condition. They were later upgraded to stable. A third man was found inside a nearby suite. He was brought to hospital in critical condition, but later died. Police have identified him as 49-year-old Robson Isaac Sinclair, a member of Fisher River Cree Nation who had been living in Winnipeg. The 23-year-old man who was brought to hospital is now charged with aggravated assault and manslaughter and remains in custody. Anyone with information is asked to contact the police or Crime Stoppers. First Nations leaders in Manitoba are voicing their opposition to a federal bill recognizing Red River Métis self-governance.
We are not saying no to progress. We are saying that progress must be done in a way that respects First Nations.
Instead, the Assembly of Manitoba Chiefs says Bill C-21 could infringe on its existing treaty rights and doesn't provide a clear framework to prevent overlap on treaty land and jurisdiction.
The absence of enforceable safeguards, there are no clear, legally binding protections ensuring First Nations treaty and inherent rights will not be impacted.
AMC says Ottawa hasn't properly consulted with First Nations leadership. It's calling on Canada to uphold First Nations sovereignty and treaty relationships and address outstanding legal uncertainties before advancing new governance frameworks. Friday, Manitoba Métis Federation President David Chartrand said the bill does not infringe on anyone else's rights. Second reading of the bill is in progress in the House of Commons. A Winnipeg teenager accused of intentionally running over and killing Canadian geese is facing a number of charges tonight. Police linked 3 separate incidents in which 5 geese were either killed or injured to the same suspect. All took place in parking lots within the span of about a half an hour Saturday night, one of which was here on Henlow Bay. A 17-year-old boy was arrested Monday. He's facing 5 charges of killing or injuring animals. Manitoba Conservation was also alerted as Canada geese are a protected species. Firefighters in Winnipeg were kept busy with a pair of early morning apartment fires. The first was reported shortly after 5 a.m. at a 3-story building in the 300 block of Capel Avenue. That's near Central Park in the city's core. Some residents evacuated on their own, while others were rushed outside by firefighters. The fire was declared under control about an hour later. And less than an hour after that, crews were called to a different fire at a high-rise apartment building on Powers Street in the North End. The fire was contained to a single suite. No injuries were reported in either case, and both are still under investigation.
Building an accessible, inclusive space is much more than that.
Setting the standard for accessibility, how one Manitoba organization is raising the bar when it comes to caring for those living with disabilities. And we'll have your complete Skywatch forecast when we return. Taking a look at our first Skywatch picture of the day. Our first one comes to us from Donna Wilson out in Killarney. Beautiful loon out on Killarney Lake. Great photo there, Donna. We appreciate it. And our second photo comes to us from Leah Heppenstall out in Victoria Beach, out in just in the Inner Lake, really. She calls this photo Coca-Cola Falls. It looks great, and of course we appreciate those photos. Keep those photos coming to Winnipeg Weather at ctv.ca. Time now to take a look at your Skywatch current conditions across the province. It was another cool day, really, throughout much of Manitoba. We're waiting for those temperatures to warm up much later in the week, as we've been talking about yesterday, and Colleen, of course, was talking about, and we're going to talk about in just a moment here. But fairly clear skies over much of the province. A little bit of activity you can see in the Interlake there, with perhaps some rain coming just from the south part of Lake Manitoba there, west of Winnipeg, throughout the overnight hours. We were tracking some rain systems again between the Minnesota and northwestern Ontario border there, but things looking pretty good for the most part. Some more cloud coverage for your Wednesday morning in northern Manitoba. Fairly quiet though in terms of that cloud coverage in the south, I should say. Really not too much happening throughout your Wednesday. Just those cool temperatures, as I was referring to earlier. We've got that cloud coverage that's going to pass through northern Manitoba and carry on throughout the latter parts of the evening. Perhaps some rain showers between the Manitoba and Saskatchewan border. As you can see there, perhaps in the Melita area there, it looks like in the very southwestern corner of the province. This is a Thursday now, of course, moving through the day. In the morning, again, sunny skies expected to, looks like throughout really much of the province. Nice clear skies as the temperatures gradually start to warm up as we make our way through the rest of the work week. Perhaps some rain showers developing there in northern Manitoba, and even some snow in the very remote parts there as well. Taking a look at some current conditions in northeastern Manitoba. -6 in Thompson, your overnight lows in both Island Lake as well there. Temperatures warming above to +2 and +1. Fairly cold in Churchill as well, -13 tonight, -4 only your expected high for tomorrow. Sunny skies in Churchill, more of the overcast though in Thompson, and perhaps then some snow in Island Lake. Moving over to northwestern Manitoba, -6 again your expected lows throughout much of the region. OCN, The Paw, Norway House, and Flin Flon. You can see a little bit of that snow developing there in Norway House. Temperatures warming though to +5 tomorrow, so a 10-degree warm up, perhaps with fairly overcast skies in the region. Moving over to the Parklands and Westman, fog patches again. We saw that last night as well throughout much of the region. -3 your expected lows in Brandon and Neepawa. Temperatures warming to +6. +4 only expected for Dauphin and Swan River. So again, fairly cooler tomorrow. Overcast, partly cloudy skies. And in Winnipeg and southeastern Manitoba, -2 your expected lows throughout much of the region. Temperatures warming to +7 degrees throughout Morden, Winkler, Steinbach. You can see Sprague there as well. 6 degrees only in Winnipeg though tomorrow, and fairly cool temperatures again for this time of year. And in northwestern Ontario, -2 your expected lows in Kenora and Dryden. Temperatures warming to +7 degrees. Cloudy skies tonight, and those clouds hanging around for your Wednesday morning, it looks like as well. For your 7-day Skywatch, temperatures warming up to +9 by Thursday. But look at that warm up that we're waiting for Friday and Saturday, 15 and then 18 degrees. Hopefully that warm weather is going to continue into next week by the time your work week starts again on Monday with 13 degrees and sunny skies. A new campaign from Manitoba Possible aims to set a new standard for accessibility with the launch of its Breaking Barriers Capital campaign.
Building an accessible, inclusive space is much more than that.
Manitoba Possible is working closely with accessibility consultant Peter Tong, who you just heard from. Construction on the purpose-built space is already underway and will be home to programs which support 75,000 Manitobans with disabilities. Some of those new building features include a wheelchair terrain park, fully accessible kitchen, and community classrooms.
The role of my team was to consult with 3 primary groups with lived experience to gather that information so it could become part of the planning and the building process.
The organization is raising $3.8 million towards the transformation of 1680 Notre Dame Avenue. Manitoba Possible hopes to have the new space completed later this fall. Canada suffered its first loss at the 2026 Mixed Doubles Curling Championship earlier today in Switzerland. Cadriana and Colton Lott from Gimli entered the matchup with Scotland 5-0 after an early victory over Hungary. However, 3 points in the fifth end helped the Scots break open a tie en route to an 8-5 victory. The Lotts were the only unbeaten team in Pool B ahead of the contest after edging out Italy yesterday. Those two teams are now tied in the standings. Team Canada returns to the ice tomorrow against Germany. Fans of the Canadian Football League got a chance to celebrate a special hometown moment tonight for those on hand to watch the league's draft.
We got 250 Red Blacks right here, look.
You're looking at Giordano Vaccaro, the first overall draft pick in tonight's CFL draft, and a celebration from hundreds of friends and family at the Centro Kubota Center on Wilkes Avenue. Following the moment, Vaccaro was picked by the Ottawa Red Blacks. Vaccaro, the 6'2", 307-pound Purdue offensive lineman from Winnipeg, got his start playing football at St. Paul's High School. Vaccaro was all smiles, reflecting on the big moment.
As an 18-year-old and playing left tackle, I wouldn't believe I was here right now for sure. A lot of thanks goes out to everyone who's been part of my journey, coaches, Coach Dovey, Coach Daynard, Recruit Ready, so I'm really grateful.
Vaccaro spent his first 3 collegiate campaigns here at the U of M, joining the Bison's starting lineup as an 18-year-old freshman before transferring to Purdue. The Canadian Football League preseason begins Monday, May 18th. Winnipeg, Rock City. Find out when the frontman for KISS brings his talents to Centennial Concert Hall later this year. A rock legend is bringing his hits to town, but he's leaving his iconic band behind. Gene Simmons will ditch the makeup and costume as his band makes a stop at Centennial Concert Hall on December 9th. Simmons is promising to perform all the classic hits with a mix of rock covers and KISS tunes. Tickets go on sale this Friday at 11 a.m. through the Concert Hall website. A group of beloved Canadian rockers, an acclaimed singer-songwriter, and an 80s rock band are among the latest Canadian Songwriters Hall of Fame inductees. The Tragically Hip will be inducted into the Hall, a bittersweet moment as 2026 marks 10 years since the death of frontman Gord Downie. Their music, including songs like Ahead by a Century, Wheat Kings, and Bob Cajun, is woven into the fabric of Canadian culture. The Hip are joined by Feist, Rock Voisine, and Loverboy. They'll all be honored at an induction ceremony at Toronto's Massey Hall on September 26th. You don't have to be a photographer to appreciate the dozens of works on display in Osborne this weekend. The annual 12 by 12 exhibit, an offshoot of the Flash Photographic Festival, returns to the Gas Station Arts Center on Saturday. The pieces are submitted by more than 70 members who range from emerging and amateur to professional. Their submissions are then organized by theme, for example, architecture, animal, or landscape. The exhibit runs until June 28th, and best of all, it's free. The opening reception is taking place Saturday between 4 and 6. Why did the monkey cross the road? You'll find out why this particular one did from Indonesia in just a moment. 1 degree right now in the city of Winnipeg. We'll break down tomorrow's forecast coming up next.
Women's clothing provided by R.W. & Company. Salon services provided by S&T Spa Salon.
Taking a look at your Skywatch 825 forecast for your Wednesday morning drive to work. 0 degrees tomorrow morning. Winds fairly gusty from the 20 kilometers an hour, gusting to 40 kilometers. Temperatures rising to 5 by 2 o'clock tomorrow afternoon. You know who doesn't care about potholes? This guy. In Indonesia, a Sumatran orangutan has been spotted for the first time using a canopy bridge to cross a road. Video shows the orangutan looking down halfway through, then decides to keep going. The road provides vital access to schools, hospitals, and government offices, but it also split the orangutan habitat in two. The bridge was installed about 2 years ago, hoping an orangutan would use it one day. I love when he kind of looks back. It looks like he kind of smiles there for half a moment, too. But anyway, that's going to do it for us. For another look at tonight's stories, you can visit us online at ctvnewswinnipeg.ca. Thanks for watching. We'll be back same time, same place, CTV News Winnipeg. Have a great night.